Hello, hello, hello. I hope everyone is well this evening. Um, Today is the 9th day of the 7th month, 2018, and the time now it's 23:20 p.m. South African time, and we we are now continuing sharing about the other part that I was supposed to share with you or broadcast previously about the merchants. That was the part three, but we had so much activities, developments. There was so much within the community. Meaning there was so much activities. Yeah. So I never had a moment to discuss about the merchants part, but I'm having a lined up of these discussions. We cannot discuss all of them at once. It will be in parts. Okay. So I did the first part, mentions, and I did the second part. And today we will be getting into the third part. We will have other parts as well, but based on the current activities and the events that are related into the same heading, merchants. Okay. And thanks for seeing all of you here today. Hi, Mrs. Jules from New Zealand. It's good to see you again. And also thanks for being with us in the panel this evening. Also thank Stephen Carvey to be with us in the panel today. It was good to see all of you guys. It really shows that we are getting closer and closer and closer. Very soon, we will be touching hands. So I'm looking forward to see more of our guests, okay, in the panel, and not forgetting others who were in the panel: Chantel, Mary Ann, Stefan, and everyone. That was good. That was great. We are actually moving ahead, irrespective of many other negative sayings and naysayers, but we are moving on. Okay. So thanks again for being here. I don't know who will be welcoming our brother Stephen Coffey first in Africa, because I picked up the reason why he's so keen to come to Africa. You know what I picked up, brother? You want to see and feel, also experience poverty. That is your main aim to visit us in Africa. That spirit, it's so good. And I'm looking forward. Yes, of course, brother. you will actually see how we were brought up in this continent. Since most of you, I don't know, those who have gone through or studied geography, if you did, on my last live stream video, I mentioned something that I wanted to discuss with you something, but I didn't that evening. So I'll just hint a quarter of that. Okay. Let's come back to the geographic part and also a quarter part of what I was supposed to share with you that evening. Okay. Geographically, most of the things after I've done my other studies, since you know that Lawrence loves to Google things, loves to read, loves to share. I don't know if it's true. If it's not true, I'm subject to correction, okay? When you look at the world's map, it is not correct, it's incorrect. Am I right, guys? If it's true, you'll show me your thumbs up, your thumb up. And then if it's not true, correct me. I'm subject to correction before we proceed. There's something that I wanted us to share before we get into the merchants and including few words that I've mentioned about our brothers who are coming to Africa, poverty, something like that. Are you aware that, wow, that is true? The calculations are wrong. The scale is wrong. In our next live stream, which is tomorrow, I will be doing the demonstrations of other things because today it's merchants. So I won't forget that one. I will actually make note of that. Okay. Most of the things have been forwarded to us in a reverse format. I don't know why the world is so cruel. When you look at the world's map, you see what you see, but it is not what you should see. It's something else. And there was a reason for that. And it has been turned upside down. There is a continent that is bigger than most of other continents, and other continents can fit into that continent. You're gonna know about that. And that continent, that's where all other nationalities come from. So we're going to share much about that. Very interesting, right? I still thank our loving TBC admin to open our eyes and to take us from somewhere to where we are. It was an eye-opener because most of us today, we are in a position to further our research after the admin of TBC has laid out the basics for us, the basics that I've never obtained them from the formal school. Today I was in the complex shopping center, one of the biggest complex around here in Johannesburg South. I met my former mistress or teacher in that mall. When I looked at her and when we exchanged today, when we talk about certain things, she looked at me, she was so puzzled. She said to me, we saw those things and we knew what's going on, but those days, it was hard for us to come out. And when she explained that to me, I looked at her expression. I actually adapted into her position at that moment in order for me to feel exactly what she felt and what she's currently feeling about the situation that took place those days. I said to her, I still ask myself, ma'am, that how did you sustain that? Because today it's different. So the follow-up question from me was that, ma'am, were you aware that the education that you were teaching us, it was wrong? He said, yes, I knew that, but the system was different. I never got angry with her. I looked at her and then I smiled. I said, I'm glad that those days and the current days makes no difference between you and me, because since you have approached me now about cryptocurrency, now is the beginning of you, ma'am, my ex-teacher, to learn the new invention of life. That's what I said to her. She said, you know what, I'm looking forward. And if it was for me, we are going to commence that or begin that now as now. So I'm looking forward. We set up an appointment. My ex-teacher is interested to learn new invention about what we are doing. And I'm going to take her through. So it is so sad to see how much the elite system has done to mankind. So if you have seen that, and if you already know that, you can't just sit back and watch, but you will stand up and do something and make a difference. So it will be entirely up to an individual to take a stand and make a difference for the next coming generations. And let's get into merchants. Merchants. We shared earlier again. Sorry. We shared about, okay, we did hint something about merchants, how to bring in merchants, who are the merchants, which are the best ways to approach merchants and what will bring in merchants in abundance. Not convincing merchants. No, you don't convince a merchant. You present what it is to the merchant or merchants, so that at the end of the day, that merchant or merchants will be in a position to make their own decisions. Because what you are going to teach or present to merchants, it won't be a theory alone, but there's gonna be some practicals. Most of the things, in order for you to feel them, to see them working, it's when you are already on top of them, applying them, practical. The way I understand it, that's how merchants should be approached. But if one says, I'm a trusted seller, here's my poster on Facebook, on a live chat, yeah, my email is there, please partner with me, that's not enough. Because on the article cash flow, it explains much. You wanna go into details, you go to that article about cash flow, article in the blog. It will explain much. You have to take someone through. You must build that person. As you know, in the Billion Coin community, we create and build leaders, not followers. People who will take the lead after us. There's a lot to be done. There's so much wealth in this community. Only few of us sees that. I fully support all the efforts of admin, especially about this cash flow arrangement. It is not for admin, it is for all of us. Are we still waiting for the bank to come in, or we already have the bank within this community? What is your answer to that? You tell me. But I do know the answer. And you all know that I do know the answer on that. In my business, 30% of my clients, I presented to them the Billion Coin. Some, they took an initiative. Some were still undecided. Then I had to take them through Bitcoin history. That's when they understood TBC, that, oh, it's a cryptocurrency. The difference is that TBC is just another cryptocurrency. Then some of them, from the 30%, they will be joining us in a short space of time. Some they're already in. Some I already started trading with them. Some they're car specialists. They even service my car. We exchange Kringles and TBCs. And some, when I render my architectural services or service to them, we exchange 50% TBC and 50% cash. So earlier today in the send button meeting, I requested all of us to start applying that method within this community so that the world could see us beyond what they see now, that these people are a unified community. They understand abundance, they understand sharing, they understand building their own, their own prosperity and abundance, wealth, etc. You can name it anyhow. Either way. What made the world to be convinced about Bitcoin? Can someone share that with us? Because when it was launched in 2009, it came with no code. But in 2010, the world was convinced that this is money. Where is Satoshi now? Wherever he is relaxing. The system is working itself out. This is what we're talking about, TBC, though TBC is the money of the people. So, what made the world to be convinced about Bitcoin? It will, not it could, it will also make the world not to be convinced, but to believe. Once you believe in something, wow, that's a greatest blessing ever. To believe in TBC. Because TBC has launched its money. So currently, whatever activities and new developments that are taking place, that in brackets, we are now building an economy around TBC because it's already there, it's money. We have new communities who are joining TBC every day, and they don't just join it. They update their back office and they purchase the $100 worth of Kringle. So you can't buy something that is not valuable. So those purchases, though current, they are in a slow business, but it is happening. That means there's a value in this currency or TBC money. I hope we understand that. Okay, let me go on the chat. Stephen Coffey, thank you, my brother from United States. We are the bank. Hi, Mrs. Jules again. And I saw someone there. Oh, okay. So, in brief, this is my understanding and my sharing with you about the merchant's business, that is part 3. Okay. I'm looking forward to share more with you, but we have to share about the wealth map as well. So I'll demonstrate something for you, and you'll have to listen to that as well because I will play it. It takes about some 3 minutes, another one maybe 2 minutes. I've opted for the short versions. Then we can share further about that. So this is my understanding on the merchants part. So let us be an example to the world. And we can still conduct ourselves without someone telling us what to do because all the tools are already here. Randy also demonstrated that from that article in the blog. Let's make use of these tools. Okay. And thanks for your time again. I'm looking forward to share with you tomorrow. Now it's 23:47 p.m. That means it's 13 minutes to 12 midnight in South Africa. So I so wish to join all the live streams, but these days we are kind of busy. Our brothers are coming to Africa, so I'll be having quite a number of meetings, arranging this and that, different provinces, how to allocate certain things, just to coordinate this event, but I won't do it alone. We have other leaders and active members who will be helping us in the whole arrangement. Okay. So to all of you from New Zealand, we love you. And from United States, we also love you. And we won't stop. And we're looking forward to have you all one day in this continent. Mother continent. You'll understand that when we share it. Okay. And for now, it's good night from me. Let me go and take a rest. And thanks for being here, listening and sharing with us. It's not a question of a bigger number. No. It's a question of few who are making a difference in the world. Thanks again, and bye.